Seaside Band. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Hello, welcome. I'm going to invite y'all to come on in from the social hall if that feels good to you. We've opened the wall to give you all space to sit wherever feels comfortable to you. If you want to be 6 feet apart, you can. If you don't feel that, then that's okay too. So I invite you to come on in. We've got a few announcements this morning before we start service. But before I do that, I want to take a moment to introduce the practitioner that's holding the light for us this morning. Practitioner Jenny Mills. Ginny is a longtime practitioner here at Seaside. I'm sure many of you know her. Our practitioners are always available for you for prayer. There's many ways you can receive here a prayer at Seaside. You can write a written prayer request and put it in the prayer request chest by where Jenny's sitting. And then there's also a chest out in the side foyer. And those are distributed confidentially to the ministers and all the practitioners, and your prayers prayed over for a few weeks. You can receive live prayer here on Sundays and Wednesdays. Our practitioners are here today to pray with you. Please do not leave here with worries or fears or anything on your heart. Receive prayer. Either out the side chapel or back where Jenny is sitting. Jenny's sitting and doing what we call holding the light, or high watch, sometimes it's called. And she's the practitioner presence today that is anchoring us in spirit, that is anchoring us in the divine. That's that reminder that she is that vortex through which spirit expresses, and she holds the consciousness for all of us during the service. So our practitioners are always doing that every Sunday. Today's kind of a weird day, isn't it? It's kind of a weird time in our world, right? Dr. Christian sent out a letter. It was an email letter. If you did not receive it, that means you're not on our email list. And if that's the case, we really would like your email. You can fill out one of the little cards. There's these little cards around that are manifesting cards. And just give us your email. Drop it in the offering basket. I think there's also an email list back in the back of the sanctuary today, too. So just be sure that you're on that list. He explained why he kept the doors open today and why he honors those that have chose to stay home. So it's a very, very wonderful letter. If you haven't had a chance to read it, I encourage you to get a copy of that. I think it's on Facebook. I think Susan posted on our Facebook the link to it. So we are practicing today social distancing, which I'm sure you've heard all about, allowing everybody to have as much space as they need. We won't be doing greet your neighbor today, so we won't be hugging or doing hand holding or anything like that. We ask you to just honor your neighbor with an namaste or a sparkle in your eye, a nod of your head, however that feels comfortable to you. We also are asking you to refrain from hugging or hand clasping and letting people have that space. We also won't be passing our offering baskets today. They're on the back table, so we invite you to, as you're leaving or at any time during our service, to place your offering in the basket. We also don't have programs today. So we're just refraining from doing a lot of physical contact and knowing that the truth is that we're perfect, whole, and complete, but we're just taking some extra precautions so everybody can feel welcome. We do have a few things that are going on. Let me see. Education classes have been postponed, but the education tables are still out there. We want you to go ahead and sign up. Just let us know that your intention is to take this class. And when, in fact, we get the new dates, we'll notify you and let you know. So go ahead and sign up if you're thinking about taking the class. The tables are out there. But like I said, the dates that are on those forms are not accurate because we are postponing classes for a few weeks. Also, we've been announcing that Panache was going to be here on Good Friday on April the 10th, and we've even sold some tickets to Panache, and we were very excited about him coming here. Well, his people have decided to cancel his book tour. So we will not be having Panache in April, but we're hoping to have him later on in the year, so we'll keep you posted with that. As far as we know today, Dr. Christian is having service on Wednesday night, so we will be here on Wednesday night. Keep an eye on our Facebook and our social media. Each Sunday, we're going to kind of play it by ear, whether our doors will be open or if we'll go completely live stream. So just pay attention as the next couple of weeks unfold. We are still moving forward, again, as of today, with our New Member Sunday. So if you're interested in becoming a new member, make sure to see Sully. She's in the family room somewhere. There she is, waving. And she has some information for you if you're thinking about becoming a member. Also, as of today, our big yard sale is moving forward. So again, you can see Susan Sully, our volunteer extraordinaire. She's wearing many hats, and she can tell you about when you can drop off your stuff and all of that. So I think that is it for our announcements today. We do have one special occasion that you're going to learn a little bit more about in just a little bit. But right now, what I'd like to ask you to do is to just stand for our congregational song. And here's Rebecca.
It's not going to be me leading here. I got Rebecca here.
Good morning, Seaside. We know this one. I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I'm happy, so happy. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm happy, so happy. I trust in God. I'm loving, so loving. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm loving, so loving. I trust in God. Come on, Bob. That's Bob on the saxophone. Come on, Max. Play that piano. Give it up for Max and our very own Seaside band. I surrender. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I surrender. I trust in God. I'm thankful once again. I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. That's right, Seaside. We're going to trust in God today.
It is.
Right now.
Hey, I got a call from you on Friday. You were on a plane heading to Miami to the jazz crew.
I sure was. I was en route. I was on the plane. We talked, and I
Right.
was like, okay, I'll see you in a week.
Yeah.
Later on, hours later, my flight, the cruise was canceled.
Oh,
I
man.
was on the plane and on the way.
Yeah.
Yep. So I turned around. I was able to catch a flight and come back home
From where?
from Dallas.
Dallas. Oh, man. At least you didn't have to spend the night.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, hey, if it's up to me, I'd have you here every week. So it's not my fault I was praying for your presence, but
I'm certainly glad to be here.
yes, we're grateful to have
And the
you.
other reason I'm also glad to be here is because I understand yesterday was your birthday.
That's true. It was.
So, if you didn't know,
Hey.
happy birthday
Yeah,
to
man.
Reverend Christian. Let's go ahead and sing happy birthday to him. Why not? Let's do it.
I don't know.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Reverend Christian. Happy birthday to you. You are loved.
Thank you. All right. Woo. Thanks. All right. Take hugs from you. Yeah. Wow, well, how great Bill spend it with you. That is fun. So, hey, welcome to Seaside. It is a thriving spiritual community, and just thank you. We obviously, you notice, we kind of spread the chairs out, trying to create that social distance or whatever the appropriate term is, and just thank you for coming out. We received a lot of mail back, email this week, the last couple of days, and just grateful to know that we have a community that believes that when things are stirring, sometimes the spiritual community is the only place you can find the light, and we will continue to let that light shine here as long as we're allowed. And so we've set up, like, we got coffee, but we've got somebody serving it to you, so nobody's touching it. You probably noticed baskets. We're not going to be passing those around here. No programs, and so just respectfully, take care of yourselves and how you feel comfortable. But I'll tell you what, we're going strong. You guys at home, we have got a lot of emails from you this week, and so we know you're there. There's more people watching than ever before. I think the dialogue and the chat rooms are going on Facebook Live, and the majority of people are watching through our website. So what's going on here is going out to the world. And if you've seen any of those like nighttime hosts, just talking to like nobody in the audience, they're bad. No feedback. So the fact that we're here doing this live, man, we got action going on. You guys at home are being blessed. So we got a lot of good going on, and we believe Spirit first. This is a community that we're committed to inspiring us to live our divinity, and we put Spirit first all the time, and it's about being relevant with what's going on in the world and having prayer. And we've got a great prayer today. He is up for practitioner emeritus from the movement, and that is Dennis Mills.
Good morning. So if you can just relax in your chairs and just join me now in a moment of silence. I know there is only that one life, God's life, as we are each that expressions of God, having this experience here on this earth. For as we continue to live in that knowledge and expression of God, and that we are that expressions of Spirit, there is only Spirit. There is nothing. There is no room for anything else. For that Spirit is perfect, whole, and complete in everything. It is that wholeness, healthy fire that continues to burn in each and every one of us here today. For I know that each of us are going to live in that expressions of God, living and having this time here today, knowing that we continue to live, commute, to encourage one another. For I know that we live in that encouragement, and as we continue to feel that love between each and every one here, is that it is in that expression that brings us here today, as we are to be spiritually upbuilt, the music, the words of Reverend Christian, the time together. For there is only now. And as we live in the now, we know that it is that expression of God that we continue to emanate through each and every one of us. And as we leave here, we know that it is that expression that goes with us. But that Spirit continues to feel and to be all that there is. It is in that knowledge and understanding that I know that today is filled with that love.
Thank you, Rebecca Jade. Beautiful call to worship. Thank you, Dennis, for anchoring us so beautifully in prayer. Thank you. Oh, it's good to be here with you. It's good to be here with you. Boy, it's been quite a week. It's been a little crazy in our world, huh? Kind of a little different out there. Last Thursday I drove up to Salinas and got all my stuff out of storage and moved it on down here in the pouring rain. Yeah, thank you. So I drove here this morning from my brand new house. So it's good to be here with you. It's really good to be here with you. I want to welcome everybody. I want to welcome everybody who made the choice to be here in our sanctuary today. I want to welcome everybody who made the choice to stay home and watch us on live stream. We honor you all. We honor you all. And we're so blessed that you're part of our spiritual community. Grateful to be here. If this is your very first time here, well, know that we don't always look like this. We're usually a little bit different, but we're grateful that you're here, and we do have a visitor's package for you. It's on the glass, on the table right through the glass doors. Go ahead and pick one up and take it and read it and see what's in there and see if we might be a good match for what it is that you're looking for in your life. To all of you that are online at home watching us, please know that there's many ways that you can participate still here. One of the things that we haven't talked enough about here is our text to give program. So not only can you hit the links that you can donate through PayPal, we also have a text to give phone number. Look at that. Marv is so good. I just asked him to make this, and he already has it. That's the phone number, 760-919-4828. And the first time you use it, it's going to ask you some information. But once you're set up, you're good. No matter where you are, you can just text your donation in. And I especially bring that up because you can see our seats aren't as full as normal, but yet our operation continues to go on. So we are grateful for whatever it is that you're able to give. Thank you so much. I just want to say one little thing before I do the reading. In honor of Dr. Christian's birthday today, even though we weren't having hospitality, we have birthday cake. So there is birthday cake in the back for you, and there's also some cards. If you just feel the call to just give Dr. Christian a birthday message, go ahead and write that in a card and help yourself to a piece of cake. They're already cut on a plate for you, so you just need to pick it up. The servers wore gloves, so it's all good. So today, Dr. Christian is talking about the Jetstream of the Divine. Jetstream of the Divine. There it is. He changed things up a little bit on us, but that's a great topic. And I've chosen to read today, apart from, it's from Celebrate Yourself by Eric Butterworth. It was written in 1984, but it's one of his later books. And it's part of this Lenten book that I have, and the book is called Fasting and Feasting. Fasting and Feasting, and I don't know, we're right about in the middle of Lent here as we move towards Easter, and though we don't traditionally practice Lent per se here, I was raised in a tradition where you did practice Lent, and it was all about giving things up, you know. What I like about this fasting and feasting, it's not about just giving things up. It's like fasting from worry and feasting on thoughts of abundance. Now, I like that, right? Our metaphysical interpretation of it, right? So Eric Butterworth, he has this piece, and it's called Dynamic Lent, a New Insight. Every year in late February or early March, the Lenten season begins. It is or can be a marvelous experience in self-improvement. In a way, Lent is coincidental with spring, the season of new growth in nature. The trees and flowers are not content with the blooms of last year, and if we are in the flow of the creative process, we experience divine discontent, in which we feel both the possibility and the need for growth. Lent can be a dynamic experience. It is approached with a will towards honest self-examination, self-discipline, and self-commitment. Whether or not you follow the observance of Lent, consider its metaphysical application. Turn from the simple act of giving up things to a more positive commitment to take up the practice of high-level thinking, from the habit of reaching for the highest point of view in all your dealings. If you have been letting things get you down, Take up the idea that you are the master of your thought world. No matter what people say or do, no matter what may be happening around you, take up the idea. Why should I let these things determine how I'm going to think or act? Keep the spirit of joy, the attitude of gratitude in good times and bad. Lent can be a dynamic experience, not by what you give up as much as by what you take up. It can be a time of great believing, leading to great overcoming and great living. And so it is.
I heard that the first service, and I liked it even more second service. That was awesome. What a great word to get us started this morning. Good morning, Seaside. It is my honor to introduce our guest artist. And first of all, I just love this guy as a human being. He's just so cool. And he drove all the way down here with his beautiful bride, Lori, to join us this morning, all the way from Los Angeles. And we're so glad that they made the trip down here to be with us. And, he's just not only a phenomenal singer, but he also is a great songwriter. He plays the piano and he plays the trumpet. And we are just so blessed to have all these facets with us this morning, along with that awesome smile. So let's give a wonderful Seaside welcome to Ray Davis.
One of the most difficult things about this time is not hugging people. I'm a big hugger, man. I'm a hugger from a long time ago. Okay, so good morning, Seaside. Y'all, everybody okay? Everything good? Good? Yeah. I'm so glad you're here. I'm grateful to Reverend Christian and the board and everyone responsible for opening the doors today. This is so cool. So this is a song. The song I get to share with you this morning is a song of transformation. Poor man Curtis lived poor in a rich world. Poor man Curtis lived poor in a rich world. He didn't know he had it all. I welcome one and all, wide, narrow, short, and tall, to this lesson as I learned it. To sit back, relax while I serve it. This little tale I will not be telling. Instead, I'll sweetly sing a story featuring a fictional fella named Curtis. I think you will recognize this Curtis. It all begins once upon a time. Curtis made the climb to corporate heights sublime. Had a new coat of office, big view, big chair with a softness. They called him sir, he told them what to do, where to be, when to begin, when to be through. Always gains and never losses. He was beloved by his bosses. But Curtis worked hard, you see, hard as he could imagine. Try as he might, he could not find the feeling there was something amiss. Old man Curtis lived poor in a rich world. He didn't know he had it all. Old man Curtis lived poor in a rich world. Yeah, he didn't know he had it all. Curtis had a lovely house. He He had a lovely spouse who kept a lovely house. Out jonesing the Joneses. He was winning the war of what we homes is. But all he did was work. He took no time to play. Hug a tree, smell a rope for even half a day. He said, push, push, push till I'm skin and bones. Whatever else am I to do? 'Cause times were hard, you see, hard as he could imagine. He said, I get what I can what I get, and save it for a rainy day. Poor man Curtis lived poor in a rich world. He didn't have it all. Poor man Curtis lived poor in a rich world. He didn't have it all. Outstretched wings, he only needed to trust to glide, just revelation, an epiphany of the great mystery, a realization. He said, good God, and oh my God, how long have I been asleep? He learned life will always bring whatever he imagines. Now try as he might, he cannot fight the feeling all is truly well. Oh, Curtis is poor no more in this rich world. He really knows he has it all. Curtis is poor no more in this rich world. Now, you know he knows he has it all. You know that Curtis is poor no more in this rich world. He really knows he has it all. You know Curtis, well he ain't no poor Curtis, no. Curtis is poor no more in this rich world. You know he knows he has it all. Oh, oh, oh.
Hey! This is Ray Davis. Woo! Curtis is poor no more. I like that. In this rich world, that is what a great song. What a fun song. Yeah, it's actually a great song for this message, the Jetstream of the Divine. And, you know, it's just that message to Curtis and the Jetstream, if you can just rise above the lower vibration and the fears and the energy, there is a jet stream that is going to carry you. You're going to meet other people on the same kind of journey. I mean, today, I just want to share, we got a couple sisters in the New Thought movement holding service. See, we got Catherine Economo out in Temecula holding a live service, as well as Wendy Craig Purcell at Unity, and they just said, you know what, we're bolder together as we open our doors and say, you know, we're standing for the light. And this jet stream that is available, you know, that jet stream flows, and if you can just get in it, it just kind of will carry you along. You know, James Pilot, corporate pilot there, you know, the jet stream, if you catch it going west to east, you go a lot faster, don't you? Yeah, and if you're going east to west in it, you go a lot slower, right? Oh, yeah, there we go. So it's like that. If we could just move on into that stream of the divine and allow it to carry us, it will move us beyond the minutia, the myopic, or the small-mindedness that is buying into some of the headlines that are being put out there. And yes, we want to do what is right and appropriate and smart and intelligent and all those kinds of things. But also we get to take our power back and not give it away to the fear, give it away to the doubt. You know, those are the enemies of being able to live a life that is filled with joy and ease and peace and grace. It is, you know, Roosevelt. Remember that? I was around, but there was a president, Roosevelt, before my time. And he said, the only thing we have to fear is, you know, and that's really what this virus is. As we had talked about, you know, the virus is doing its thing, but a greater virus is the fear that has us going to the stores and creating this phenomena. It's called the missing toilet paper phenomena that's going on right there. You know, they got police at Costco guarding, you know, toilet paper. What is up with that? You know, and if you really believe in the law of karma or cause and effect, if you got cases of toilet paper, you're going to have to use that, and you know it could happen very quickly. You know, and so it's Lynn Twist. I just love her prosperity consciousness. She wrote the book, The Soul of Money, and what she talks about is that we live in enough. If everybody was okay with enough, there would be plenty. But as soon as people start hoarding toilet paper or whatever it is they're holding on to, it creates a fear. It creates a scarcity. It creates a reverberation that has lines wrapped around buildings in this hysteria that's not necessary. And so what we want to do, I think is a good thing to do, is kind of reframe some of the thinking of what is going on. And there's this wonderful prayer that's been going around the minister's listserv. And I don't know if it's a prayer, but people have added to it. I'm not sure who created it, if it was Edward Fillon, a community spiritual leader, or David Alexander. I saw it come out of Seattle. So people have been adding to it, and I'll probably butcher it. So it's not going to be like it was. But it's a prayer for this time, and it says, may we who are merely inconvenienced remember those whose lives are at stake. And may we who have no risk factor remember those who are most vulnerable. And may we who have the luxury of being able to work from home remember those who must choose between preserving their health or making rent. And may we who have the flexibility to care for our children, which is the issue for Callie and I at this point, when their school is closed down, remember those that have no option. And may we who have canceled our trips remember those that have no safe place to go. And may we who settle in for a quarantine at home remember those who have no home. You know, as fear grips this time we're in, let us choose love. You know, that's how we get to reframe things. You know, as there is this thing going on, Albert Einstein said that in the midst of difficulties, there's always opportunities. Yeah, it's like, okay, if I'm going to reframe, if I'm going to, step into this jet stream of a greater possibility, if I'm going to leave the heavier means, the fears and the worries below, and recognize that I'm being called to this world for a time such as this to bring a higher thought and a new thought, okay, in the midst of this difficulty, there's got to be something emerging here. There was a Zen master. He said that when my house burned down, or after my house burned down, I now have a greater view of the sky. It's like you get a choice. What am I going to do with what is going on? And so as we begin to recognize that there was an issue or that there's a difficulty, that there's a possibility in the midst of it that is greater than what is being told to us, that possibly if God really is everywhere, which is kind of the premise of all religion, but if God is everywhere and the nature of God is good, then what I've got to recognize that even if I may not see it, I've got to know that right here there is some kind of greater possibility that is emerging that is not seen yet. And if I can enter into that jet stream and begin to look at possibilities that are greater than the headlines of fear, I can be a contributor to an expanding, emerging consciousness of a greater story. That out of this difficulty, there's something greater that is unfolding. It may not be known yet, but you know what? We get to create the narrative. We're being told this is the narrative now, but if all of a sudden a community of individuals said, something good's coming out of this, and I'm not quite sure, but just possibly that somehow, because what's going on is just not isolated right here, but it is kind of uniting our whole nation together, that all of a sudden there is a global heart and a feeling. But not only our nation is going through this, but our brothers and sisters across this planet, across the oceans, across the continents, that all of a sudden we are sharing a similar difficulty or a similar mishap that kind of gives us the opportunity to feel together, to sense together, to be together, that divides borders, that eliminates divides. I don't know if that's what's coming out of this, but I know that's a possibility that is greater than the hysteria that's going on. If all of a sudden we begin to move as one family on this planet together, could be some good things coming out of that. But there's got to be a greater story here. And if I give up my fear and make myself available and I begin to listen, and listen and say, okay, God was talking to Isaiah, this chapter 55. He said, Isaiah, your thoughts aren't mine. It's like, duh. Your ways aren't mine. It's saying to us, this fear, this pandemonium that is going on, that's not mine. God, I'm supposed to be good everywhere. There's something else that is available. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my doors and let the light out. I'm going to open up the doors and say, you know what? I'm going to choose to practice the presence of God here in the midst of this fear and this concern and make myself available. If my thoughts and my ways are not God's way, then what way is there? It's not coming through my mind. But Ernest Holmes, he's the founder of our religion. He wrote his last work that he wrote was called The Voice Celestial. And after his wife Hazel died, he got together with his brother and they wrote this last epic poem. And it's his mystical writing. It's the part where he moves beyond cause and effect. He moves into the mystical. He moves into the quantum. He moves into that realm of grace. And one of the things he writes here is, he said, I stood upon the shore of the larger life, and I heard its swelling tide, and I felt its lapping waves upon my feet. Uninvited, the unknown became known. The invisible was seen, and the voice spoke, and I heard. Beyond all reasoned thought, it spoke a language that feeling, and only feeling, could interpret. But real, oh, so real, elusive, fluid, but substance of the all substance. And illumination came. I'm saying your thoughts aren't my thoughts. There's something that comes when we make ourselves available that is beyond what is going on. And what's going on is calling for our attention. As Curtis woke up, that's what we're asking to do. The difficulty is not the biggest issue. Our fear is not the barrier. It's our response to the fear. And the greatest challenge is if we have the difficulty or something happens, if we don't choose to wake up from the trance of fear and say, okay, God, I need a greater understanding here because, you're asking me to be in the game for you. And for a time such as this, I came into this world. You got to show me. You got to do it. And when we begin to wake up and recognize that, you know what, these symptoms that are going on, the symptoms aren't bad. They're telling you that there's something not working. If you've got a symptom in your body, it's saying, hey, Christian, you got to pay attention. Something's not working here. Our natural state and order is peace. And if you got conflict going on, there's something that's not working. You've got to take a look and say, what do I need to know from this? What do I need? And so that's what we do at our individual level when we're working with our body, our life, our relationships, right? This is like a class size, so feel free to talk. Maybe I can get down and talk to you in a little while. We did that last service. And so if it's true at the individual level, Ernest Holmes talks about the microcosm and the macrocosm. Hermes, the Egyptian days, he talked about as above, so below, as within, as without. You got the cosmos, you got the atomic. It's like it just replicates itself. And so if we got a condition that's going on in our personal body, it's trying to get our attention to know something. We got something going on in the human body. It's trying to grab our attention and say, hey, you need to look at something here because something's out of balance. Something's not working. The symptom you got to wake up from and say, hey, God, man, I could slip into fear. People are telling me to go there. But you know what? You say your thoughts are not my thoughts, so give me some thoughts here. And as we are willing to sit in this place and become receptive and available to Spirit, things begin to emerge that we maybe didn't know was possible. Maybe the planet is coming together. I read this letter from a pastor in China. It is interesting to see what's happening over there. Wrong page. Left my other glasses in last week's coat, so. Anyway, so this was written by a Chinese pastor sent to a brother in Istanbul. He said that the hustle and bustle of China is finally quiets down. The restless society comes to a still, and the restless Chinese people gradually have calmed down. The wild animals that were once held by humans in cages finally managed to keep the humans in cages. Humans have finally lowered their proud head and have begun to think quietly, are we still king of the earth? Mankind finally feels the power of nature once again. And in the face of the threat of death, human beings have only begun to reflect seriously. There are fewer and fewer people on the street. Few cars on the road. The air is getting fresher. The haze is gone. The sky is getting bluer. The sun is getting brighter. Family lives are getting warmer and harmonial and cordial, and people's hearts have become more and more calm. People who haven't read for years have picked up books at home. Parents and children who have no communication, and couples who couldn't speak but a few words a year have opened up the conversation box. I just want us to grasp that there could be a bigger story here than the pandemonium that we can get caught up in sometimes because of what we're being told. And yes, you want to do the things that are wise to do. But you know what? You can bring a consciousness to doing them. In prac class this week, we talked about bringing the sacred to the mundane. Their assignment was like Brother Lawrence, who found his mystical experience washing the dishes. Their assignment was, how can I bring the spiritual practice to the mundane? And one of the suggestions is, we're told to wash our hands like all the time, right? Imagine if you chose to use this as a sacred baptismal moment where I'm putting my hands under the water, which is the spiritual symbol for religions from the beginning of the time, that you will take 20 minutes, seconds, just, rubbing those hands and knowing and trusting that the presence of God is just bringing the new expression, the new life, the new name to the world, that I'm washing away that which doesn't belong in my world or those around me, that I have been gifted this opportunity to just for 20 seconds be with the presence in a ceremonial, baptismal kind of way, knowing that I've been christened by the divine to bring a greater light into the world and keep my heart open rather than close it. We can do that. And so, I did this as the first service. You guys have any questions? I mean, I can talk all morning for you. There's no problem with that. But, do you have any questions or thoughts that you would like to share at this time that I can maybe, what's that?
What are we doing or can we do as a church to help the people that maybe they need food delivered or maybe, they do need some toilet paper or whatever, and I feel like there's a lot of strength here,
Uh-huh.
and I'm wondering,
What can we do, you're asking, as a spiritual community to help bring some food to those that are shut in and toilet paper or what have you? I think that is a great thing. I think after service, you can stand up, get a piece of paper and say, hey guys, we want to create a train, a home train, if you would, to help those that are reaching out, that are caught in fear, that are incapacitated. So, Beth, it's a great idea. Why don't you get a piece of paper and have everybody bring your own pens, because we're not sharing the same pens, and, get some names, and we'll, if we get calls. I mean, what we're getting a lot more is emails. So, a good idea. Thank you. Yeah, Michael.
The impact on our children being out of normalcy
Yes.
is a huge opening for us to create a narrative that empowers this.
Yes. And so this is the time to be honest with your children, with what's going on, and also ask them what greater good could come out of this, besides not having to go to school for 2 weeks. Your prayers have been answered. You are a powerful prayer, a healer on this planet. But it is a wonderful time to begin to say, hey, did you ever stop to think that somebody just like you is sitting down in South America and they've got the same fear that we've got going on? How could we, make a difference? Should we write a letter? Do you want to, send out to school children down there and see what their scenario is and begin to assist them to connect with their brothers and sisters? Because I'm pulling for us to be one human family. That because what is going on transcends physical borders. We are connecting at this heart level, and we can take this opportunity, just as times we have seen a catastrophe happen, how the people come together, within the country. Well, you know what? This is the time where the planet is coming together, and I just pray that we don't lose this opening of this brother and sisterly love that is available to us. And so with our children, I'd sit there in that conversation. Yeah.
And the institution of school, which is very old, actually is going to have to shift. I don't think we'll ever go back to normal.
There are so many greater possibilities that could move us beyond the factory style school. And I don't know what it is, but we've got to trust that the good is emerging. And Spirit, let me hear your thoughts, not my thoughts or not my way. Yes.
Alternative to normal school is homeschooling. My daughter has not been affected by anything of this. She's still doing her normal stuff on the internet.
That is beautiful. We're using a new technology for sure, and we have these wonderful stars. You guys haven't missed a Wednesday night, and here you are every Sunday. It's just, yes, Kelly. Oh, what's that? Sharing that Chelsea's daughter does homeschooling, and with the disruption in the school system, it hasn't disrupted her world in the least, because she is using a new style of schooling that is beyond the factory approach. Yes.
So the Seaside sisters will be holding sacred space, and the women will be called into action. I know I already have been. And what is the need, and what is ours to do, and how do we serve the greater good? So on a Monday and a Friday, I will be holding sacred space. I'll let you guys know if you're on my mailing list what that looks like. We'll do meditation, we'll do prayer, we'll do appropriate social distancing, and we'll also brainstorm of how can we come together and what's ours to do. And as women, we will serve the women. So, okay, you're on my mailing list.
There you go. There's someone to partner with for you right there. You know, and that's it. It's creating this space. Yeah, Bob. Yes. Well, I'm going to send them to your house. You know, it's a beautiful idea. It's a possibility. We look at every possibility. So we'll put that on the table. It's a good one. You volunteer. Okay, that's good. That's beautiful. I love it. Fern.
I am torn because one moment I think this whole thing has been over-exaggerated, and in my soul I feel safe, and I feel that if you wash your hands and you do basic protections, that you'll be fine, and at the same time, there's a lot of hype about don't get close to people, don't do this, don't do that, and so I'm torn because it's like, when do you accept the fears out there, and when do you just know in your soul you're safe?
So that's spiritual being discriminatory as to what is right for you. I think scientific information has great value, and we don't discard it. We have got physical bodies; they're biological, and they respond to that stuff. So as you can see, some of your board members came in yesterday, created huge spaces. I mean, I will walk. This is like first-class seating arrangements you guys have, you know. And so we are working on, you know, asking people, you know, take the space, you know, unless you came with somebody, so people are comfortable. You know, we're working on the namaste instead of the hugging. We've got coffee. We've got Cassie who's going to give you coffee today as she pours it, so we don't have everybody touching that. And so, you know, we're doing those things that we feel are in alignment, but we're monitoring things every day. You know, we are coming together this week. Make sure we have your email. If you didn't get a letter from me on Friday, I don't have your email. And we're communicating because things are exponentially expanding on this. And so, you've got to, and so as we encourage, without judgment, people listen. We have got a huge online audience here today because there's people watching us from home. And thank you for supporting us. If you want us to keep this going, you know, because you're not here, we need your support. But, you know, it's a check-in. It's your personal spiritual practice right now. And, you know, I can't do your spiritual practice for you. You're the one who's got to do the practice. You're the one who's got to do your work. Where is it that you're comfortable? Don't go anywhere you're not comfortable. But I got to tell you, no matter what's going on, you can go out in your backyard and get some fresh air. You know, I went down to the beach yesterday afternoon, and the place was packed. You know, Encinitas, PCH, there's wall-to-wall people, bikes, walking, drinking Starbucks, the line out the door. You know, it's not only Costco, it's Starbucks too. You know, so it's your spiritual practice. So use that. Karen, then Nancy.
We absolutely know what you say is true. And we absolutely know, as Kelly pointed out, that we need to do something. So we do have an entire outreach community. I work with CRC in the city. If you have ideas or spaces, a lot of this was unfolded. So please either email Christian or leave a note somewhere. I know that as a family, we're going to come together and we're going to know what's right, and we're going to do what's right, and we're going to feel what's right. And in doing that, we're going to elevate the consciousness to so many. So that's, in my opinion, what's ours to do is exactly what works.
And don't isolate yourself. I mean, that's the thing. We're trying to keep people isolated. It doesn't mean you can't communicate, you can't love, you can't connect. I've checked in with other ministers. You know, you got Matt Shackley, wonderful minister here in town. He's open today. You know, we checked in. There's a lot of places that have chosen, that can feel that they can create the social separation where people can feel safe and do that thing. And like I said, we are bolder together. You know, sisters, Reverend Catherine and Reverend Wendy Craig, you know, doing that. Let's see, Nancy.
Well, something on a practical level, my favorite cruise line for the last 5 years, does the bump instead of the elbow. The elbow's okay, but if you got tight clothes on, that's really.
That's right. You got the bump, you got the foot kick, and what we like around here is they've been doing it for years. Namaste. You know, they look in the eyes, man. The spirit of me sees the spirit of you. There's so much practical stuff. We got, yes, Brian. Reverend Brian, what'd you think? He spoke a couple weeks ago. Did you do okay?
Sometimes things are so obvious. Spirit said, call the lady next door, Laura. She's alone. She lives by herself. And I called and I said, Laura, this is Brian and Dr. Chill, my wife. them what's going on. And there was a few tears on the phone. She said, "You just did it."
Oh,
I just wanted to know that I can count on you guys always. And sometimes, you know, if you can have a neighbor or somebody on the street or somebody looks like they're hurting or, you know, it's just like noticing them and giving them a word of
that's it.
empathy and compassion.
Beautiful. A simple thing. I love that. Yeah. Hey, this is like Wednesday night, guys. This is what we do every Wednesday night. You know, there's not as many, so we can dialogue. Last one, right here. Look at you. All your kids are here. This is great. Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just really grateful you guys are open. I mean, this philosophy is really, my kids and I talk about everything. We've been talking about what's been going on. Much for your Joe's place is empty, And I got a growing son, so he's always hungry.
It's all your fault, huh?
So anyway, just, I told my kids, like, how can we be grateful of this virus right now? How are we opening to just being grateful for what is opening in the world right now?
Yeah.
Today is just confirmation of it. I want to teach my kids. I mean, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Good.
And I've heard things, and I don't. Being a single mom with 3 kids, being a provider, only of them, I had some fears showing up, and I thought I gotta go to church.
And here we are, open.
Consciousness opening, and be grateful and find peace every day. So I'm just really happy that you're open today, and just listening to all of you.
Thank you. That's beautiful. You know, it's that's what you've created, guys. You know, you said yes, we can come together still as a community, and that works. And it just it's courageous to practice your faith sometimes and be smart with your practice. And I just want to assure you, the amount of emails I got from people appreciative, they say, may not be here this Sunday, might be watching online, my condition is, but I'm just so proud of Seaside. I think we only had 2 that were not overjoyed with what we were doing. So make sure you get us your email. There, in the basket back there, there's cards. But, I want to give you something you can practice because, it's good here, and then we go away, and all of a sudden the head may slip into, saw this headline, heard this story, saw some new statistics or numbers, or you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and wonder, it's going to be toilet paper left, or whatever, the concern is that is going on. And I've got this great spiritual practice I want to give you with. It's a mantra, and it comes from Ernest Holmes, and it's been practiced in religious science. We do it in the foundation class. Ernest wrote that, for healing begins with thinking, a conviction, and a belief that there's only one life, that life is perfect, and that life is God's. And that wasn't quite his way. But see, I've embellished it, and so we do it a little differently around here. And we go, hey, Marv, you want to put my style up here? It says, there's only one life, and that life is God's life, and that life is perfect, and that life is my life now. And I want to give you this mantra. I know people do these Sanskrit mantras, but my God speaks in English. And so I prefer having it in a language that I resonate to. And so in the foundation class, we'll do this 108 times. There's something spiritual about 108. I haven't figured it out yet, but that's what everybody says. But I only want us to do it 10 times together, but I want to do it so if you do wake up in the middle of the night, you've got something to put in your mind rather than the headlines or rather than what somebody said. And you can take pictures of it so you have it, but after 10 times, my guess is you're probably going to remember it. So I'm going to count it. We may end up doing it 12 times. I lose count a lot. But it won't kill you. So it'll probably make you feel good. So let's do this together 10 times. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. One more time. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. There you go. So there's a gift for you to fill your mind with something other than headlines. You know, hey, let's put our hands together and bring this wonderful, wonderful musician, Ray Davis, back to the stage, who chose to be here this morning with all of us, with his wonderful wife, Lori. We love you.
This is a song of encouragement. If you're perplexed beyond a reason, total confusion in your mind, pay heed to simple sign and season, wonderful the feelings you find. Send yourself messages of courage, courage to conquer the past. Fall back from thoughts that discourage. Make sure they never last. When it seems like life is useless, seems to you that you are too, you will find strength for the struggle, inspiration, motivation from our source in you. The sun will rise, don't you ever doubt. Sun will rise, you can work it out. Sun will rise, bringing a new day. La, 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 la. Never to fail for tomorrow, every day.
Hey, Ray, that was really beautiful. Oh, my goodness. I was just moved again to tears. That should be our anthem for this time we're in, you know? It is, gosh, from before Abraham, the sun was rising. Yes, you know, from the beginning, God has been there. It's seen us through all these times. We maybe haven't seen these times, but Spirit sure has and knows the way through. Sun will rise. Well, hey, usually that's where I do the collection, but we're not going to do it today. I'm trying to sit here thinking. So, you know, guys, the baskets are there. As you heard Reverend Debbie share, you know, we need to keep moving through these times to keep our doors open. So invite you to participate as you always have, or even beyond that. This is the time where we all need to come together. And you guys at home, too, heard a lot from you this week. Please, please, please hit that donate button that's on your thing. You know, we need to keep moving forward. And so... we'll keep our doors open for sure. So you know what? Instead of just doing a prayer at the praying for our giving, because I'll just weave it all into one prayer. But I do want to thank you guys, the whole band. You're fabulous. You're just wonderful. Ray, terrific for sure. We love you. Thank you and Lori for driving down. I guess there was a big truck dumped all its goodies and supplies on the freeway. So there's abundance since truckloads are being thrown around. You know. Rebecca, welcome home. I'm glad you didn't go, but I'm very grateful you're here. We're blessed. And guys in the sound booth for standing there and bringing the sound. The camera crew, guys behind the wall, switching it. We are making a difference on this planet, sharing the sun will rise. It is rising. A new day has come, and that all of us are an integral part of that for sure. If we don't have your email, give it to us, please. Wednesday night, we'll be here. We're closing down some of the things that we do around here, like the panache isn't going on, and so you know your support is definitely appreciated at this time. But we'll keep you informed through email. That's the way things work. Who knows? Maybe we'll even send out a video message of me instead of writing it this week. It'll have all sorts of fun. But I love you. You know, you created... Yeah. Yep, you created this morning. And, you know, it was a clear decision, but it was still tough. You know, it took courage. Abundance prayer. Okay, we'll say the abundance prayer. You can have the. Okay, we'll put it up there. That's for sure. So let's say this together. Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. I'm going to pray, and then we're not going to do the grace song. These guys are just going to go wild. We're going to have Ray Davis take it over with them. But right now, I know there's a power and a presence and a love that moves in this room. By all of us just being present, there is a sense that our spirit cannot be isolated, but it is together that we're able to share this love, that we can feel that presence and that life force, that there is that all-initiating energy that created all things, that has not abandoned us in this time. And as we come to feel and sense that wonderful expression of God here in this moment, healing happens, not because I need to tell the infinite intelligence what it needs to do, but rather those God thoughts, they're not mine, they're God's. And I become available to a higher way of seeing. I slip into that Jetstream and I find that I am taken forward in ways that are grand and glorious beyond what my mind could have previously known. So we heard stories here this morning of love shared, of reaching out, of new thoughts and perspectives. I know right now that this is a divine time, that there is as much God present in this moment as ever before. And any of those natural human fears and concerns that arise at a time like this, the thoughts that get bombarded into the collective consciousness, this is the human experience. But let us not lose sight that we are that divine conduit for God to be made manifest, that the truth of our being is Spirit expressing here in this life. And go of the concerns of our world and begin to open up to the greater possibility. Taking a look and being consciously aware, trusting our decisions without judgment, but listening to that inner self and honoring the spirit, the soul, and the body, knowing it is the integration of it all. There's a body and there's a spirit and there is a mind that is operating. Listen. For there is a wisdom that speaks to each and every one of us. And what is right for us to do doesn't matter what the others think. We find it courage to say yes to the stirring of the soul. For this is a time in which what is taking place is allowing humanity to move to a greater place, a greater togetherness, a greater love. The perfect love casts out fear. Fear knocked at the door, and love opened. And nothing was there. For truly, I choose love in this moment. I choose compassion, understanding, kindness. And I allow to be moved by this in the appropriate ways within my life. So knowing that we are all safe, for there is nothing to be safe from, for there is only one power and presence, and that is God, and it is a light in which we live and move and have our being. And in alignment with this divine, we are always in a good place. For there is no otherness in that mystical level. And we are being asked to know as God knows in this moment. My ways are not yours. My thought is not yours. From before Abraham, I am. And in this great I am, I become a beholder. I become a witness. I become an expresser. I become a bringer of that light. And I know that each and every one here today is a spiritual leader that has been called for a time such as this to bring the new thought and the new possibility into the conversations, into the places in which we choose to be. For everyone that is with us today, physically or virtually, there is a consciousness, a love of this family that is united in this time, knowing that each of us has been called and activated, that we have the courage, the compassion, the faith, and the trust to do that which stirs our soul to do, to speak, to express. For we are wonderful emissaries of the light and the love and the expression of spirit. And in this kind of practice, healing happens. It purges out that which does not belong. There is that vibration that allows nothing but spirit to stick. It is all a wonderful opportunity, our spiritual practice. And so we know that there is only one life, and that life is God's life, and that life is perfect, and that is my life now. And I am grateful for this knowingness. I am grateful for it manifesting. I'm grateful for it to express. And so I let go to this. I trust this. I believe this with an unshakable conviction in the divine right action for the good that is having its way in real, relevant ways as our life here and now. A peace comes, a calm comes, a deep tranquility of knowing that the sun rises once again. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you have to say. Seaside, I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife with
live in the flow of the divine. Together. I live in the flow of the divine. Touch your heart and say it again. I live in the flow of the divine. One more time like it's your truth. I live in the flow of the divine. Guys, take it away.